Since 2005, the Duluth Poet Laureate Project has recognized and nurtured poetry throughout the Arrowhead region. It began as a reaction to former Governor Tim Pawlenty's veto of a Minnesota State Poet Laureate, which sparked Lake Superior Writers member Jim Perlman to create a local program. After collaboration with Lake Superior writers, bookstores, libraries, and universities, Jim's vision became a reality. By 2006, Barton Sutter was named the first Poet Laureate of Duluth. Since, Sheila Packa, Deborah Cooper, Jim Johnson, Ellie Schoenfeld, and Gary Boelhower have also held the honor of being named a Duluth Poet Laureate. Moreover, other Minnesota cities have since adopted the Poet Laureate program, including St. Paul, Red Wing, and Winona. On top of that, in 2008, Minnesota decided to honor a state poet laureate by appointing Robert Bly to be the first, who was followed by Joyce Sutphin in 2011 and Gwen Westerman in 2021. This spring, Sheila and Ellie were kind enough to visit the University of Minnesota Duluth to discuss their time with the Poet Laureate Project, the joys of their crafts, and their advice for future generations of poets.
My name is Sheila Packa, and I was the Duluth Poet Laureate from the year 2010 to 2012.
My name is Ellie Schoenfeld, and I was the Poet Laureate of Duluth in 2016, from 2016 to 2018.
Each person who's been the Poet Laureate has decided to take it in a new direction.
Do count a lot of the people in this area as some of my favorites. Certainly all of the other Duluth Poet Laureates have been people I have their books and love their work.
Although each laureate takes the project in a different direction, they each stress that poetry has the power to unite a community.
I ended up doing about 50 writing sessions at various places. People, I think, enjoy opportunities to talk about their own experience. When I've held writing groups or workshops, generally it's a full slate. There's, all the spots fill up, and people have experiences that they really want to share. And people always enjoy sharing their writing with each other. It's an opportunity for conversation and feedback and affirmation that I think we don't necessarily get in the normal course of events.
Poetry brings any community together, certainly. It's full of people's stories and perspectives. I have a certain amount of poems that were inspired by kind of overhearing something or mishearing something. Things like that strike me as funny. I like humor, and so if something is funny or a word play, politics have often inspired me. I kind of like metaphysical stuff, so a little bit of spiritual stuff or physics, which I don't really understand anything about actual physics because you have to know a lot of math, of course, which I do not. But I like reading the complete lay people stuff and throwing that to my poems occasionally. Science, I do know I have some of that. People's stories.
I ended up with an anthology, Migrations, that reflects the people that came to the workshops and also other writers that I knew that were from the region, and I had called them and asked them to submit work. So one of the other developments from that transition were the placemats. The Empty Bowl was a fundraiser for the food bank here in Duluth, and so I had this idea of putting poems on placemats to place under the bowls that people came to the depot to buy. The mission of the Poet Laureate is to expand the audience for poetry and to promote poetry. And so I thought this project fit that bill.
Given the ways poetry has benefited both Sheila and Ellie, as well as their community, it comes as no surprise they encourage future generations of poets to continue with their craft.
Just keep writing. Just write and write and write. Don't be deterred by anyone who, with anyone's feedback. I mean, listen to feedback. It's good to hear feedback, but a lot of, I just remember getting a rejection one time where the rejection note said, "This is not a poem." And I'm like, well, who made you the decider?
I think it's really important for people to honor their own work and their own voice. Your writing voice is made up of your experiences. It's rooted in your landscape. Your landscape is part of your psyche. And I think for new writers, it's easy to think, what I have to say isn't very important. And there's people living on the East or West Coast that are more influential. But I think it's really important to stay grounded in your own experience and to expand your voice, expand the kinds of experiences that you have, so you have material that you can draw from.
Just keep writing, practicing stuff, trying different things, and read a lot of poetry. Read lots of anthologies. See what other people have done, what sparks your interest, and follow that.
To that end, if one is interested in learning more about the Duluth Poet Laureate Project, they can do so by visiting the UMD archives in the Catherine A. Martin Library. Contact the archives using the information on screen to learn more.